Our guest this week is another Palace legend on the podcast. He came through the youth ranks at Selhurst, scored on his debut, and then went on to score a total of 113 goals, which makes him the joint fourth highest goal scorer, tied with Mark Bright, although I know he disputes Brighty's record on that, which I'm sure we'll come on to.
Don't do that.
Now, one of the best pundits on TV, and I'm delighted we've managed to tear him away from eating pucker pies, other pies. Oh, it's the one and only Clinton Morrison. Clinton, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be really good.
Top man, how are you?
I'm good, not too bad. Obviously, this crazy COVID-19 we're in at the moment, but it slowly looks like we might be coming out the end of it. But no, it's been good. I tell you, the one thing I have done is I've lost over a stone, so I've got fit again. So that's what I needed to do. So I run like 5K every day. I do a HIIT class, and I do some weights and sit-ups with my friends. So 3 workouts a day. So I'm feeling much better. So if Palace need a striker, I could come out of retirement.
Yeah, Clinton, you might be feeling better. You've just made me and Selzy feel a lot worse.
Yeah, you're both fit in your own minds. You're both fit in your own minds.
I'm personal trainer. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm keyboard fit these days. Keyboard fit.
Selzy's always been keyboard fit.
I can use my fingers, my sausage fingers, all right. So I'm all right. I'm happy.
Clinton, I want to talk to you about your time at Palace, because obviously you've been on the post-match extra pod for our patrons a few times talking about Palace, but I really want to talk about your memories. Before we do that, though, obviously football is back this week. Palace are back this week, and I'm just wondering, from an ex-player's perspective, how difficult or easy are the players going to find this going into this current situation? You know, no fans, all these tests, changing in boardrooms, all this crazy stuff we're hearing. Is that going to be difficult?
Yeah, it will be difficult, but I think the players are just happy to be back out there playing football. I think this period has been a big one for all players, I think mentally as well, because this prepares you for what it's going to be like when you retire, because some of them lots of players that I've been speaking to said they've been bored at home. They don't know what to do with themselves because you're used to the day-to-day training, going in, having the banter, obviously on the training pitch, playing games and stuff like that. I spoke to Patrick Van Aanholt, about 6 weeks ago. He was going stir crazy. Obviously, they just had a new baby in the house as well. So he was just desperate to get out of the house. He just wanted to go back and play football. And I said to him, "Are you not worried?" And he was like, "No, he's not worried because they get tested twice." So he was kind of comfortable with it. And then it looks like it's worked brilliantly at Palace. They look like they're ready to roll. Roy's been on the training pitch. He looks healthy and fit. And they all look like they're raring to go. And what the good thing about Crystal Palace is, Palace, I should say Palace because I'm Palace through and through. It's my team. I support them as well as Tottenham, as everyone knows.
Mate.
We can actually get into Europe. I think there's a great opportunity. I think we're 3 points off Tottenham who are in 8th. And maybe if Man City do get a ban, we've got a chance of finishing Europa League. And what an achievement that would be for our team, Crystal Palace. So it'll be brilliant. But first and foremost, I think everyone's happy that they're back training and obviously going to be playing. And they've got a big game against Bournemouth coming up on the weekend.
This is why I love having you on, because you're just so positive. I love it.
Yeah. No, you have to be positive. Listen, form's going to go out the window. I thought before the lockdown, I thought Palace were playing brilliant, in particular Jordan Ayew. He's been a revelation this season. I didn't really think he could come and deliver what he's done, but he scored some really important goals in critical stages. Obviously, the Brighton game was a brilliant game. I thought Benteke, even though he hasn't been scoring goals, I thought he played a big part and done ever so well setting up the goal for Jordan Ayew. So, listen, Brighton were probably the better team on the day, but one thing you get with the Palace boys is that the grit and determination, they know how to defend. And I've said it many a times. I think Gary Cahill coming into that back line has been sensational. He's probably the best free transfer that was out there this summer. I don't understand how not big club, I shouldn't say that because Palace, we are a big club, but someone like Arsenal who would have been challenging up for the top 4 didn't go for him because it's one of the best free transfers I've seen.
Yeah, he's been fantastic for us. And just briefly then on our squad, because obviously it's not a huge squad and we've had injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
These games are being packed in now. It's like 2 games a week.
Yeah.
We've seen in the Bundesliga quite a lot of clubs having injuries in the first few weeks. Can Palace survive that with this squad?
Yeah, we've been really we've had some bad injuries even when we were playing just Saturday to Saturday, so we can definitely survive this. Somehow Roy's got the boys patched up and they're back on. I think everyone's fit now, raring to go, so it is a good squad and we will have to use it. We will. You saw Jairo Riedewald come in, he done particularly well. I don't think he's a left back, but I think he's a very good midfielder. So there's lots of places in midfield. Obviously, you keep Will fit. Andros Townsend's coming back. Jeffrey Slot, Jordan Ayew, Benteke. The list goes on and on. So, and defensively, we're strong now. I think Sacco's back and stuff like that. Tompkins. So we've got a strong squad. If we can have a good end to the season, it'll be good. Usually this time of the year, you're always worrying, will we get relegated? I don't think we're nowhere near going to get relegated. We're looking further up, and let's go and try and finish the highest we can. I did something the other day in interviewing someone, and I predicted Palace would finish 8th. I could be wrong, but I think we'll finish ahead of Burnley and stuff like that. I do believe we've got a good chance.
You do realise, Clinton, it's your fault now if we go down, don't you?
Yeah, but you know what, Kev? 100%, I'll say it on here, we are not going down. There is absolutely no chance. There's 3 worse teams than us in that Premier League.
Have you watched any of the Bundesliga, Clinton? Because in the first 2 weeks, they seemed a bit nervous, a bit tentative, but since then the game's been played at 100%. It's been full tilt, and the kind of, once you get used to the crowd not being there, it's proper football again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. That's the only thing you'll miss as a player is the fans. I used to love it. Sozi would tell you, you'll see it as well. Okay? And Jim would have come into seeing how I used to love getting involved with fans, but that's just the way I thrived off playing. Some players might find it easier because some players might not like the pressure of playing where fans are having a go at them, and then they might be able to express themselves. So, but I've watched a lot of the German football. It did take a bit of time, and now it's hit full tilt. Listen, what we got to realize, we've only got 9 games to go, so it's so difficult. You've got to just hit the ground running. So I think the few games that they've had behind closed doors and stuff will help the team. But it's like pre-season. Anyone will tell you it's going to be so difficult. I can't expect someone to go in and hit the ground running straight away. It's going to take 3 or 4 games, but we haven't got that long at the moment. So credit to the players, though. They're all looking forward to it, and I'm just as excited as the players are at the moment.
I'm excited now as well. I was kind of excited. Now I'm super excited hearing you talk about it.
What's interesting, JD, about about Clinton thinking about the 8th place finish is I think there's only 2 games out of the 9 or whatever we got left that are against teams that are below us pretty much in the table. So, yes. I mean, we've got to play Burnley, we've got to play Tottenham, we've got to play Wolves, we've got to play Man United, Chelsea, Leicester and Liverpool. So, to a degree, if we are to sort of steal a march and get ourselves further up the table, it is in our own hands to a point if we can pull off some of the results.
Yeah, I'd agree with Selzy there. And you know what? Against the big teams, we might as well go for it. I know the Liverpool game is going to be a difficult game in a few weeks and stuff. They're all going to be difficult games because Chelsea, Leicester, they've all got something to go on. And obviously, Bournemouth, who we're playing on the weekend, they're trying to fight relegation. So all the games that we've got at the moment are going to be difficult. But we thrive on playing against the big teams. I think we're hard to beat and we play counter-attacking football. And we could cause a few problems. And as Selzy said, it's in our own hands. And why not? Listen, even if we don't finish 8th, or we finished 10th or 11th, it's still been a good season. With all the injuries that we've had, Roy's got that squad playing really well. And I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed watching Palace this season. I'm not going to lie. I've enjoyed it. I hope the fans have, because I definitely have. Listen, there's been a few games where it hasn't been good. I get that. We're not going to keep every fan happy, but that's just the Premier League. It's the best league in the world. And we, Crystal Palace, lonely Crystal Palace, who everyone likes to say we are doing ever so well to compete with the big boys.
Also, the last couple of seasons, Clinton, it's around this time of the season that Roy sort of lets the handbrake off a little bit. Once we get to sort of 39 points, and then we see PVA sort of defend. He's playing 10, 15 yards further up the pitch, and we tend to be a bit more relaxed and a bit more open, don't we? This team, and pick up some points. So I'm looking forward to that.
It will be. Listen, when I go to Palace, I speak to Roy, and he keeps saying to me, keep saying that we're safe. Until we get to the 39, 40 point, then we're safe. I said, sorry, Roy, it's just what I see in the Premier League. I watch every game, and I think we'll be safe with the squad we got. He said, no, don't keep saying that. He said, but just keep praising us. I said, I'd always keep praising you. Don't worry about it. But no, you are right. I do think we'll be more attacking. The shackles are off. Just 9 games to go. Let's go and express ourselves. And I think most of the players will do that because they've had a break now, a really long break, and they're just looking forward to getting back out onto the football pitch.
Okay, speaking of expressing yourself, I want to take you back to the late 90s. Yeah. And I have a memory of I had a season ticket in the family stand, opening up the programme looking at the youth team pictures and seeing this lad with bright blonde hair and thinking, he looks really cool. I'd love to see him play in the first team. And then lo and behold, not long afterwards, he comes off the bench, last game of the season, scores the winner, set up by Attilio Lombardo in front of the home set. Talk us a little bit just about sort of breaking into the team, playing in the youth team and what that was like, and obviously try and explain the blonde hair.
Yeah, JD, let's be honest. You saw the blonde hair and thought, look at this big-time Charlie little player. Like, that's because what everyone else thought. And me looking back at it now, I even thought to myself, what was I doing? But I was flash. I wanted to give it the big one. But now, when I was playing through the youth team, coming through the youth team was brilliant. We had some exciting young players like Gareth Graham, who never really went on to fulfill his potential. Do you know why? He had a bad injury in a cup game we had in a reserve game, and he got a broken leg. He would have been a star because he was one of the best youngsters I played with at Crystal Palace in midfield. But we had a lot of talented players there. I played up front with Leo McKenzie in my first year. He was his second year. Hayden Mullins obviously went on to have a superb career. There's loads. I could go on. Tony Foley. There's a lot of Irish boys that played in our team that were really good. And I really enjoyed playing in the youth team. It made me laugh because when we'd finished our youth team game at Mitcham, I'd always go to the first team game and you had to do your job before. And Bruce Dyer he'd be the main man for Palace in the first team. And I'd go in there and they're preparing for a game. And then someone would say, oh, Clint, did you score today? I said, yeah, I scored again. Hat trick for the youth team. I said, I'm coming to take his place, Bruce Dyer's place. And everyone to this day now, even Bruce, he still reminds me, such a flash little kid coming in the change room. They're preparing for a big game and I'm coming in, like doing the jobs that I've got to do as a youth team. And I'm telling the first team manager back then, you should put me in the first team. But I managed to get my break. I think it was Cops and Ray Lou and I think Steve Kemba, they had a part to play with it as well. They were big influences for me, obviously, when I was coming through at Crystal Palace. In particular, Steve Coppell, he kind of got me. He got the way I was brought up and how I was and stuff like that. I could go and speak to him anytime I want. And he just put me on the bench. We were already relegated, but as a Premier League, Sheffield Wednesday, I just remember coming on and thinking to myself, just go and enjoy it. But one thing I thought when you're going to get a chance. So when you get the chance, just make contact and you'll find the back of the net. And I just remember it. It was a long ball, I think, played over the top. And Kevin Pressman comes there. But Attilio Lombardo's so good, kind of nicks the ball around and gets to the byline, crosses it left foot. And I think me and the Sheffield Wednesday defender are grappling. But he's looking at me thinking, look how skinny he is. Because I'm telling you now, the kick didn't fit me. It was hanging off me. And he's thinking, I'm not getting it. This Clinton Morrison ain't getting it from me. But I was all wiry and kind of had that skinny strap. So I kind of leaned on him. I just remember left foot stroking it into the bottom corner. And usually I've got a good celebration into my head. I didn't know what to do. I just ran to Attilio Lombardo and rubbed his bald head. And that was it. And that was it. I just then I said to myself, I'm ready. But then it took a bit of time to actually get back into the first team, which I didn't mind because I was still learning. But it was a great moment to score on my debut. For my boyhood team, it gave me the opportunity. Special moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you couldn't miss.
I couldn't miss. If I had missed that, I would never have played again. And Selzy and Kev would have probably told me about it in the stands.
As if. I was just thinking about you talking about Bruce Dyer taking his place. You might have been young, but you realised he couldn't trap a blind man.
I knew Selzy was going to say that. I knew Selzy was going to say that. I was waiting. I lined him up for that.
Oh, man.
Every time.
Clinton, I was thinking about you expressing yourself before the second leg of that League Cup semi-final against Liverpool. When you expressed the view that we were going to beat them up there as well, go to Wembley.
You know what? I'll tell you the story because I like telling. This is the true story. So obviously, I think at that time I was scoring goals every week. I had about 10 in my last 9 games. Obviously, Heskey and Owen missed a lot of chances on the day, but in particular, the media wanted to highlight Michael Owen missing. Obviously, I scored. We were 2-1 up. So I've come out of the ground after, and I know straight away. My emotions are running high and I'm thinking I'm the man at the moment. Maybe I shouldn't have done that interview. If I'd known what I know now, I would have done the interview. But I came out and I said, it was like, oh, good game. And we talk about Palace, how we did well in the second leg. And then they were saying, Michael Owen didn't have a great night. And I said, no, for 4 I'm in at the moment, the chances that Michael Owen missed, I would have scored. And that was all I said. So I kind of left it. We moved on and I thought to myself, nothing of it. A few days later, I'm going to training and the lads are like, Clinton, You're such a big mouth. You don't know what to shut your mouth. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just scored the winner in the semi-final of a cup. You lot should appreciate me. But nah, they said, go and look at the paper. The headline, Clinton Morrison will teach Michael Owen how to score goals. What the hell was I thinking? I didn't say that. Michael Owen, one of the best strikers there were in world football at the time. So I kind of, I regret what I said. I didn't really say it, but it got twisted. And you just got to learn then, because things can get twisted.
The trouble is, we went up to the game on the train and we're sitting there going, well, Clinton seems confident. We might get something out of this.
I was confident. Michael, this is the best bit. They battered us. So they battered us. Yeah, Michael Owen weren't playing. He's in the crowd and stuff like that. But I get a chance. I'm getting stick from, and I'm in front of the cop and I'm thinking, the balls fell to me 6 yards out on the volley. Clinton, just make contact and score. Whatever happens, we're not winning this game. I've done the biggest air shot ever, and I missed it. But that wasn't the worst thing. Gary McAllister comes up past me and goes, Clinton, don't worry about it, mate. Michael Owen would have scored that. I didn't know what to say. I had nothing to come back to him, and usually I'm the biggest mouth ever. I just had to be quiet. Looked over to the bench and thought, Gaffer, please sub me. But he left me on. So you live and learn from mistakes that you made. So yeah, it was
Have you ever spoken to Michael Owen about that?
Yeah, I did. I saw him on holiday in Portugal, and I said it to him. He said, no worries. It's fine. We just move on. But at the time, you do start worrying, because you just start thinking to yourself, I've not said it, but if I did say it, then I would pick up my chest and say I did say it. But all the boys said, nah, you did say it, Clinton. Because they said, that's what type of character you were. I said, well, if I did say it, don't let everyone know I said it.
Well, if it's any consolation, Clint, I remember after we beat them 2-1, Alex Kalinko said to me, Celtic, why they all say Michael Owen, good player? He's rubbish.
Yeah, that's good. He's
rubbish.
See, because Alex was in goal and he's just thinking, I've got nothing to do. He's rubbish.